This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details. Fan.
To noon.
Just listen.
The game is over.
Good stuff.
The Vikings.
Okay, calm down.
To noon.
Life was good then it had meaning. We danced without a care.
There we go, Paul!
There I met you, my closest friends, whose eyes I've seen before.
Let's go, everybody. Let's go. Good morning.
Hashtag Faith Radio PA and charge.
All I can say is, wow. Oh my God! No way! Hey, good morning. What's going on, everybody? Hey!
Oh, Buffalo Wild Wings Oakdale. Buffalo Wild Wings Oakdale as Devin Andor-Nordo takes us out of audition. That's beautiful. Everybody's clearly excited and ready for Monday Night Football between the Vikings and the Bears, aren't you?
Hell yeah.
Well, so are we, and we welcome you to the inaugural 2025 football season, Friday Football Feast. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming out. That's awesome. Jared Wells on the sound, ladies and gentlemen. He's the technical guidance to 9 to noon. Alec Lewis from The Athletic, a round of applause. He's going to be one of the co-hosts of the Friday Football Feast all season. I'm Paul Allen, and after 15 years of feasting with this man to the far right, this will be the final feast. I mean, maybe not the final feast if he's in town.
He'll be back.
He can stop by any time, but kind of unofficially, officially, the final feast for the decade and a half co-host. Ladies and gentlemen, can I get a witness and a raucous round of applause for Paul Charchian?
Hey, they love you.
I am excited to hand the torch off to Alec, which is fantastic. Couldn't have a better replacement. And I do hope every now and again I get to come back. But
100%.
Football season is a little bit tricky. I know the regular season's fantasy season, but maybe the playoff versions of the Friday Football Feast, of which we will have one in January. I am confident we'll be back then, and we'll bookend this season with Friday Football Feast.
I didn't know you were coming. PA said earlier this week, he's like, Charch is going to be here. I'm like, this is incredible. I don't have to, I can take some time off. I can be tired on Friday. No, it's great to have you here. Obviously, I'm honored to do it. But what people don't know is, I mean, for years now, between segments, you're giving me feedback here on the radio, and it's been very. I'm grateful for it. So I pumped you're here. Glad to be doing it. But
ever since Paulie Wally, you and I started chatting about you being at this feast, the common thread in the emailing or the text messaging has been handing the Friday Football Feast baton off to Alec Lewis, The Athletic and theathletic.com. He covers the Minnesota Vikings. How does one hand the Friday Football Feast verbal baton off to Alec Lewis? Like how do you explain to him what goes into it when 15 years ago, in front of us at Buffalo Wild Wings Crystal, there were a couple of ladies so fired up they went to leg wrestling right in front of us. You get clipping penalties, you get feast festivities, and you have an official baton to be handed off.
It's a torch.
A torch.
I am handing a physical torch to Alec.
Hey,
only charts. Only charts.
There you go, my man.
Does he get to keep it?
It's not,
What do I do
yours.
with it?
It is yours. Well, what you choose to do with that torch in the privacy of your own home is up to you.
Now, Paulie Wally and his wife Roxy.
That's great.
Moved to Utah earlier this year. So, is that torch used because you live in an area that's by a lot of rest stops in a women's prison? But nevertheless, there's a vast wilderness/desert by where you live. Do you use that torch to navigate the wilderness in the evening?
I have to. We are actually a dark sky city where everybody powers down their lights and there's no street lights and everything at night. It's dark. And when you come to visit, Alec,
Sounds
Well,
safe.
if you need it, let me look. As much as I can do with it.
yeah, I would like to believe that you're going to keep this in an area of reverence in your house.
Absolutely.
Right up on the mantle. This is the official Friday Football Feast torch.
Alec Lewis's Inclusion Weekly is courtesy of Steve's Appliances and stevesappliances.com. Brian and Sarah with Steve's Appliances, people with whom I've become close over the last year. It's a fellowship thing, but it's also a consumer thing in that at Steve's Appliances in Mounds View, you're going to save money with guaranteed low prices on appliances. So check out the website if you're so inclined. These people are absolutely fantastic. They will work with your budget to the very best of their ability. And Steve's Appliances and stevesappliances.com has stepped up to help the feast, the Friday Football Feast with Alec Lewis inclusion. Now,
Where do you get a torch?
Amazon sells everything, right? I mean, I don't
you bought
normally
that?
keep a torch with me, but I wanted to give this to Alec.
That is-
I
Hey.
think it makes sense.
can I get another round of applause for Paul Charchian for the thoughtful nature of the 15-year co-host of Friday Football Feast?
I thought, wasn't there a story of like throwing a fish into the crowd or something? I kind of
Somebody
as you went to your
somebody
backpack,
ate-
I was getting very
Yeah.
worried.
Somebody ate a live fish in front of us.
I think
at
the guy's
Roseville.
name is Josh Goolsby. That's what I think his name
Really?
is. Yeah. And he either does or used to own a restaurant up by Onamia, and he throws like a giant tailgate party outside of Vikings games that pumps a lot of money into it. A lot of people go to it.
Yeah.
And it includes fish, like they fry fish or something like that. So he showed up at Buffalo Wild Wings Roseville, and he had a cooler. And then he opened the cooler, and my man was so wound up. Was it to beat the Dolphins? Was that like a theme or something?
Maybe that was it.
He bit the head off a fish, and blood started shooting everywhere.
Yeah, and this was a big fish. This is not like swallowing a minnow.
Right.
This was like a 3-pound
Yeah.
fish, and he bit right into the head of the fish.
I mean,
Yes.
if you're gonna bite off a fish, it better happen at Buffalo Wild Wings Roseville. I mean, that's really
It also 2009, that Brett Favre season, Vikings fans were so unbelievably wound up as the playoffs were approaching.
Yeah.
We were at Buffalo Wild Wings Crystal, and unprompted, we didn't even ask for any chicanery or skullduggery. Two young ladies laid right in front of us and started leg wrestling
that is true.
for like 10 minutes. It was one of the most distracting things we've ever faced in the history of the feast.
I don't know what to say. You guys talk.
It was the best 3 out of 5, and it was that's something that's only happened one time in feast history to have the leg wrestling. Maybe there'll be more someday. But
There was another feast. It might have been Buffalo Wild Wings Crystal, where the Vikings-Packers rivalry can be full of vitriol. Like, we haven't even played the Green Bay Packers. They get the Lions this weekend, but watch this. Hey, Buffalo Wild Wings Oakdale, either via applause or boos, how many people here love the Green Bay Packers? All right, so
usually we got one.
when David Sinekin of Packer Preview joins us for the feasts in front of the border battle, it gets a little loud and it gets a little wild. There was one feast that we. This was not a Nick Madden production, okay? But nevertheless, promotions had the right idea by giving away little foam footballs until Sinekin showed up at 11, and everybody threw them at him. And we're talking fastballs. I mean,
yes.
It wasn't like Dave LaRoche lob and Ephus pitch. They were fastballs, and a couple hit him in the face.
Like Chris Bubic with the
yes. It was a Bubic-like fastball.
Yeah, Nolan Ryan. It was he got pelted repeatedly, and we've stopped throwing foam balls. Do you remember the time that you threw out the bottles of Buffalo Wild Wings sausage?
Yes.
You remember that?
Yeah, it hit a lady.
You threw a bottle of sauce?
Well, I tried to soft toss one to somebody who wanted one.
Yeah.
But it didn't get as far as it was supposed to get. This was Buffalo Wild Wings Savage. Hit a lady in the head, and then she toppled. And then now I'm like, okay, cool. So I heart Buffalo Wild Wings, Miller Lite, Coors Light, the Minnesota Vikings, and MN Vox Ltd. They're all and League Safe and Guillotine Leagues. They're all about ready to get sued. But fortunately, she was very kind with the whole situation. So welcome to the feast, my brother.
Yeah.
It's going to be great to have you.
Good to be here.
Only in a coma for 3 weeks.
I mean, part of me wonders if Charch brought some of that energy, though. Like, in terms of the fish biting, the leg wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd like to think I bring the weird.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I can, manifest that, in front of us, but we'll find out, I guess.
Well, once they start playing the games,
And when's that start?
That's Monday night, about 7:15, KFAN and the vast and ever expanding KFAN Minnesota Vikings audio network. Alec will be on site. I'll be on site, and we happen to be quite excited about it. But 3-2, when they start playing the games, and you get dubs, and you get L's, and you get emotion, and eventually as we move forward, Eric Nordquist, the producer of 9 to Noon, mad producer, he's going to be joining us at each and every Friday football feast. So it'll be Nordo, Alec Lewis, yours truly, and J Dub. And we're going to have a wireless mic. We're going to get out into the crowd and do some stuff, things like that. You got to think about it this way. You got people who start drinking and imbibing pretty aggressively at about 8 or 9 in the morning. So say the team has lost 2 or 3 consecutive games or won 5 in a row. They just get a little wild and a little cantankerous and things like that. And good morning.
Yeah, I don't think good morning. Hair looks great today, by the way.
Thank you. So do your glasses.
What about me?
No, yours always looks great.
I think my hair looks magnificent.
I mean, look, it's just the curls are just in regular
season form.
Regular season form.
J-Dub, make him stop.
No, I will say, you said, when the team loses 3 in a row, I'm not sure if that's happened since I've covered Kevin O'Connell since they arrived here.
That's a good point. I don't think he has lost 3 in a row.
Not even during the Josh Dobbs experience.
Did that count?
That's a great point.
I don't think they lost 3 in a row in that stretch.
Jaron Hall played during that stretch.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
boy.
right.
Yeah, that was an L.
So the Vikings and Bears are Monday night. That's a big part of the conversation today. Also, Chad Greenway is a weekly guest, 9 to noon at the Friday Football Feast. 5-2 radio commences within the next 10 minutes. Lavelli Neal III, a columnist for the Star Tribune from the south side of Chicago. Lavelle's going to stop by at about 11:30, and we will unfurl a marathon segment known as Beating the Bears. We have a lot of stuff in between, too, involving matchups and involving defense against offense and Ben Johnson against Brian Flores and things like that. But let's begin here for just a couple of seconds. Have either one of you ever spit in
That should be good.
Spit on a man like Jalen Carter did last night for the champion Eagles?
I mean, that was unbelievable.
Now, there's rumors that Dak Prescott spit first, but he spit on the ground.
Yeah, he was a dribbler.
He was a dribbler.
He was swigging around the saliva in his mouth. Jalen Carter actually spit directly on him. That was.
Did he hit him? Because when I saw it, I thought, did he really?
Oh yeah. It was the spit connected from mouth to.
Wow.
I mean, it was an accurate spit.
So it was a loogie?
I can't verify the nature of the spit.
Damn.
The slow motion of it looked, when they did the frame by frame breakdown of it mid-air,
Yeah.
it had a little yellow to it.
No,
there was a little something in there.
Maybe he has a cold, and he had to get it out, and the wind blew it or something like that. It was windy last night.
It was very windy.
Before that
rainy
delay.
and the rain delay stuff, to me, the NFL's changed. You know, in the old days, and I hate to go, old
lightning.
Man, get off my lawn.
Bruh,
you know,
it's lightning.
Yeah. Okay. I don't
they
want
have
to see anybody get
goalposts.
hit by lightning, but how many times have fans gotten hit by lightning?
All it takes is one time, and it's like, wow, we should have delayed the game.
I don't know. Can we play in the
You
rain?
just wanted to go to sleep early.
I did want to go to sleep early.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Old people don't want to wait out delays.
A 90-minute wait.
All
I
right.
don't want to wait out the delays. I say play in
All right.
the rain.
Okay, well, where we're being spoiled with this, and you wouldn't know, I'm Jared Wells, all right, the technical guidance to the Friday Football Feast. He does, he technically guides occasionally the road broadcasts for Twins games. So like the Chicago White Sox are in town, Jared's at Target Field guiding the Chicago White Sox vast and ever expanding audio network. All right, so it's cold.
That's a heck of a game,
There's
too.
nobody there. The home team's fixing to get swept, which it did. And there's a delay where the game doesn't begin until after 8 o'clock. Their 19-run score. That sucker goes until about midnight. So,
Yes.
I mean, we're complaining about a 45 to 1 hour delay, 45-minute 1 hour delay for a football game that we're sitting back in sinkholes, watching, eating food, and enjoying ourselves. My man's at Target Field, freezing during a 19-run scorigami.
That is a terrible baseball game to have to go to. I mean, that is miserable. But I didn't know you were so okay with lightning. I mean,
I'm fine with it. I don't know. I just say play the odds. I mean, probably nobody's going to get hit, and if it probably won't be a player.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just going to be like the guy holding the parabolic mic. Fine.
This is karma. I don't know if there's
Yeah,
lightning in
yeah, right.
Utah, but I'm just saying, wouldn't be shocked.
I just want us to play in bad weather like the old days, right? We're putting roofs over stadiums. We cancel games if there's rain, or we suspend games when there's rain. I like the weather.
It would be bad form to argue on your final feast. You brought a torch. It's your final feast. Your wife's here. But, I mean, when's the last time you attended a National Football League game? That's the point. Is that I know you have fantasy work to do, and I know you got a lot of work to do, and you got to watch all the games.
I do need to watch all the games.
But if you are season ticket holder,
right,
and it's roofless, and it's cold, and it's windy, and there's lightning, you ain't going to be sitting in that seat, my brother.
I'm out.
Right.
Right. But the fans always have that option, right? They can go in the concourse.
Yeah.
If there's lightning, the fans can hit the concourse if they want to. If they don't like the rain, they can go to the concourse, which is where they go when they suspend the game.
What about the metal helmets and the benches and all
Metal
that stuff?
helmets.
I don't think
Helmets ain't
Helmets? Are they not metal?
What do you think? This is RoboCop or something?
What is it? I don't know what the composite of the helmet is.
I mean, there's a low hanger here from a joke standpoint.
Let's hear it.
But they scored 44 points last night because it could be, okay, the goalposts are metallic, but just play the game because Dallas doesn't know anything about getting close to them. However, Dallas played hard last night, man. Dallas played really hard last night.
They did. I thought it was going to be a one-sided bludgeoning, but also didn't think Jalen Carter would get kicked out. The best defensive player on either team would get kicked out before the game started.
I thought Dak was great. And the stat line, the box score didn't show it, but he was
in
dialed
control.
in, accurate down the field. The layering of throws, it was very impressive to watch that offense. My thing with them is are they going to be able to stop anybody all year? And the good thing is they acquired a run-stopping nose in Kenny Clark and gave up one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. So it was a brilliant move by them, given the questions they already have on defense.
When Dak needed a completion, all he did was look for a Dory Jackson. Where is a Dory Jackson on the field? Where is 8? And I'm just going to throw there.
Right out of the gate.
Roasted him.
Yeah, right out of the gate.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Cooper DeJean's great. Quinyon Mitchell's great. Mm-hmm. And then there's a Dory Jackson. And that's going to be a liability because they're going to have to figure out over the course of the year.
If only they had Isaiah Rodgers.
Right.
Exactly.
And Isaiah Rodgers debuts Monday night for the Minnesota Vikings as regular season football goes, and we're going to talk about him. Single biggest keys for the Minnesota Vikings winning on Monday night, and much more when the Friday football feast continues at Buffalo Wild Wings Oakdale. 5-2 Radio, one of the great defensive players in the history of Minnesota Vikings football, Chad Greenway, joins us each and every Friday, and he has arrived, so we pause. We'll spend a couple of segments with Chad Greenway chatting Vikings and Bears. It is Paul Charchian, it is Alec Lewis, and I'm Paul Allen, J-Dub by my side. This is the Friday Football Feast.
Yeah. Life was good then it had meaning. We danced without a care. Yeah. There are many.
History of Minnesota Vikings football has joined us, and he'll be with us weekly at Buffalo Wild Wings du jour. Can I get a witness? And a raucous round of applause for Chad Greenway. 5-2 Radio, ladies and gentlemen, courtesy of Grey Duck Vodka and Grey Duck Spirits. What up, buddy?
What is going on? And good morning. It's a beautiful day. It's football weather.
It is crisp out there.
I was a little concerned when I pulled up. I've never parked this close on a B-Dubs Friday in the history of my time pulling up. So I walked in, I was like, what's this crowd going to be like? And of course, it's pretty slammed in here. I think I just got lucky on timing. Timing luck.
No, there were 4 people here, and then I said, coming up at about 9:20, Chad Greenway joins 9 to noon.
I'm sure that's how it worked.
Look what happened, ladies and gentlemen.
Filled out.
They just came flooding through the door.
Unbelievable.
This Buffalo Wild Wings Oakdale recently went through a remodel because we used to be located over there. I mean, we have so much space now, it's like an embarrassment of space, you know what I mean?
The TV quality's amazing. I mean, everything in here is high level.
What were games at Soldier Field like for you, Mr. Chad Greenway?
Awful.
Oh, boy.
I mean, they're awful. I don't know why we have to talk about this every year.
What do you mean?
It's like we have to, now, next thing's going to be is, here was Chad's record against the Bears at Soldier Field.
Here it comes.
And then it's going to be like
Here it comes.
And Nordo's going to find some dusty clip from like 08 of me.
Roma should do double move. Oh, he
that one still hurts.
Oh, God.
Still hurts.
God.
I'm not over that.
And but no, I mean Soldier Field. It's one of those places that you can't really describe it, but it's a hard place to win, a hard place to play. You talk about the surface all the time, what that looks like. Longer grass. It's just different vibe. And I think the other thing is they just play better there. They play their style there. Went through all the Devin Hester years. Those were always super fun. He would return a punt seemingly every game against us, it seemed like.
I remember Chris Cluey is like, listen, I'm not trying to punt at him. This isn't Madden. I'm trying to punt away from him, but I can't make it go everywhere I want it to go.
We should have cut Cluey just for that reason alone. But it was also so great to be part of the Hall of Fame induction ceremony for Devin Hester, being on all those clips.
Highlights.
That was super fun too.
Great.
That was great.
So did you see some of those? Did you see some 5-2 taking dives?
Yeah, a couple of those where I'm sprinting full speed. You think you got him, and you kind of end up on your butt somehow. You don't really remember how it happened. It just happened so fast.
So Nacho Lieber joined yesterday, and one thing I forgot to bring up to him is with Devin Hester on those punts, Soldier Boy, he's hopping out and everything.
It's the hype machine at Soldier Field.
Place
Devin Hester was electric.
But I don't know if there are many players in the National Football League where you would say, this player gets Jordan rules, like Michael Jordan type rules.
Yep.
Quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, tight ends, or whatever. I mean, they're, like play after play after play. Gee, so-and-so, Tom Brady, Brett Favre, Patrick Mahomes. They just keep getting these calls. Devin Hester, he had Jordan rules on these punt returns because you watch those things back as you did a million times. There would be an official 5 feet from where he caught it, and Heath Farwell 5'9", would be pushed in the back right to the ground, and they wouldn't throw the flag.
They're watching Hester. Yeah. I mean, everybody's watching Hester the whole time, and nobody's actually paying attention to who's getting blocked in the back, and he's throwing a touchdown, hitting his head on the goalpost. Unbelievable.
Hey, talking about returns, you remember Adrian Peterson's rookie year in Chicago and that epic game when he was a returner for the Vikings.
I thought you were going to bring up my return days back in 9-man football, but we went a different route.
I wondered where you're going.
My numbers. It was interesting because that year, obviously, in young Adrian, you would use him in a bunch of different areas. I mean, he was just really verseful. And let's go back to the fact that he caught that kickoff, which is actually, now that we saw how his hands were over the course of his career, kind of a shout out, Adrian, 07 Adrian on that one. But
he's playing fast to start the season.
But listen, hey, when he got that ball, everybody thought the same thing. Is what's he going to do? And he took it to 50, 45 yard line. Gets us into field goal range. And was that a Longwell? But it was Longwell, but he didn't hit a goalpost on that one, right?
Nope.
But it was
double doink.
It was a good kick.
That third down on the game-winning drive, I contend, Adrian Peterson took the hardest hit he's ever taken in his career, Lance Briggs. I mean, it was a tackle for loss, and he just absolutely mauled it.
Now that you brought it up, Briggs is not in the Hall of Fame.
No.
Is that right?
No.
So you talk about a guy who went to, 5, 6, 7 Pro Bowls.
Probably.
I played during a lot of his career.
Yep.
The guy will never get in, probably, because he didn't get sacks? Explain that one to me.
Probably, because he didn't get
Explain that to another outside, not that I mean in the Hall of Fame, but him specifically, though. If there was a guy in the last 20 years, it'd be him.
Well, also, Bears linebackers, something of a history of excellence there, and it's easy to get lost in the shadow of all the other amazing linebackers that have played in Chicago.
A lot of great ones. Urlacher, he was first ballot, I assuom.
Yeah.
Did you see J.J. McCarthy, first game he ever attended at Soldier Field? There's a picture of him wearing an Urlacher jersey, backwards hat, and like a Bears bear claw. Like that was, it's like 2000. It was against the Vikings, 2007. I think AP ran for.
So it's that game.
07. He ran. AP ran for like 190 or something crazy.
First game JJ ever attended at Soldier Field.
And it was a Viking win.
Like seeing the future.
Crazy.
Okay, so with Monday Night Football, let's begin with Chad, then go to Paul, then go to Alec, then go to me. The single biggest key to the Vikings winning Monday night?
Taking care of the football, 1,000%. I mean, it's going to come down to a young quarterback when he gets his spots, taking care of the football, and the coaches putting him in that position to take care of business and giving him throws and opportunities to stay out of trouble. Little things, fumbles. I mean, just staying ahead of the chains. But to me, the number one thing is going to be turnovers. When you're trying to win a big one, especially early in the season, it's got to be ball possession and taking care of that thing. So that's me.
You took my main talking point. The quarterback who makes the fewest mistakes, that's the team that's going to win this game, I believe. We've got two.
I already said that one.
Two effectively. You did.
Choose something else.
Did. Two effectively.
He's been out he's been gone for too long. He's just not playing fast enough.
Yeah, this is awesome. Greenway rolls in, calls me fat, makes fun of Alec's glasses, now all of a sudden steals Charge's take.
I don't know why everybody's offended by facts.
Funny, just notice my notes. All of my prep and notes are right in front of Chad, and suddenly he's got my take.
They don't teach you how to read in South Dakota. This is all based off. This is nothing to me.
Yeah, right. It's two sophomore quarterbacks that are in many ways rookie quarterbacks, right? First start for J.J. McCarthy, but also a real reboot in a meaningful way for Caleb Williams, who's being asked to basically forget everything they tried to teach you last year, which did not work. And now we want you to stay on scheme. We don't want you to be the Caleb Williams that you were in college or the Caleb Williams of last year that would try to make things happen off script. We want you to stay on script and not make mistakes. That's not who he's been. So in many ways, it's sort of like two rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah, my key is taking care of tackling.
That's right.
Tackling for me.
Tackling, you say?
It is such an elementary probably thing to bring up within this conversation, but I really expect the Bears, Ben Johnson, to try to get the ball in space to skill guys quickly. So it's going to be incumbent upon the Vikings linebackers, secondary corners to tackle well.
Early season tackling is always an issue, especially with the preseason as how it's laid out right now. Nobody's going full contact at practice.
Right.
It's a great point.
The other thing, like for the Bears, is TJ Edwards, one of their starting linebackers, going to play? So if he doesn't play, what does that mean from a tackling perspective against the Vikings run game. That's really where I start. And to Chad's point right there, the coaches all week have talked about this game. It is not a scheme game. It is a fundamentals and techniques game. And so it feels like they are in that mode where it's like, let's just do the simple things well. And if we do that, we should have a pretty good chance.
And off what Alex said, it's really good to have Chad here because he played in all these season openers. And, you know, he's going to think that I'm doing this purposely, trying to make a joke. But when Jim Tomsula,
oh boy,
Coach,
here it comes.
Every year on Monday night game comes
this
up.
plays into my single
Season opener,
biggest key.
Monday night.
It pisses me off because it's right.
Well, it involves what's known as unscouted looks, okay? And this is the week for the gotchas. This is the week for the zany stuff to transpire, the stuff for which you cannot plan because it's absolutely going to be new. And like when the Vikings went out to play the Niners that Monday night, Jim Tomsula, their defensive line coach, became their head coach. And they went out with 4 tight ends. They ran the ball 1 million times. They ran Kaepernick, and they won the game. And it was a really, really tricky, difficult game for the Vikings. Now, that was week 1. All right. Well, now now it's not an unscouted look into week 2. So San Francisco went to Pittsburgh in week 2 and got beat by 35 points.
How's that make you feel?
Because they know what's coming.
Yeah.
So one of my biggest keys in this game, honestly, is handling the early flurry, for the Vikings to handle the early flurry of what's going to be unscouted looks. I mean, you can look at Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta, Khalif Raymond, whomever you want to find. You can scout that all you want. These are new guys. They're playing on grass, not the turf of Ford Field. And these coordinators are good. So they're going to be unscouted looks. The crowd's going to be loud. They're going to come out with a flurry, man. If you can hold them off or have that subside, then I think you're going to roll to victory.
I've never seen 3 tight ends in the field more in my life than against Jim Tomsula. I mean, just people going everywhere. Your eyes you go cross-eyed. It was just miserable. And I think to that point, all these shiny new toys that these teams have coming into this new season, we could talk about JJ, we talk about all these acquisitions, we talk about defense. The most important one is Ben Johnson. The most important guy. Because you labeled with Caleb Williams, like he's the guy that if he unlocks that talent, yikes.
Yeah.
This division just got even better than we think it's going to be. So to me, of all the acquisitions, that is the most important acquisition to see what the Bears are going to roll out. And it does give you this tricky option. And then it leads to your point. Can we tackle in space of all the things he's going to do?
Yep.
Can Caleb do the play action bit that Goff did so well that fit that system?
Yeah. Amen.
And then you nailed it. A fast start in Soldier Field takes some of the wind out of the sails of that fan base, and because it's a hard place to win.
Yeah.
So what's the best way to go? Control the football, take care of the football, run the football. 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 5s. Keep that ball charging down the field.
We're going to see a lot of running in this game.
I think
a lot
so,
of
too.
running. Yep. We're going to get a lot of Jordan Mason.
80s football's back, man.
I know. I love it.
Trended last year.
It did.
By running backs.
Yep. Look, Saquon Barkley, Offensive Player of the Year.
Yep.
Huge part of the reason that the Eagles ended up winning the Super Bowl. Now, Chad, I know going into every season, you were always optimistic about the season that was coming. But if I were to ask you the day before the season starts, through every year of your career, what your win total was going to be, would you have a pretty good idea? Like, this is a good year coming, or this is going to be a tough year coming? Or was just, the optimism just so blind that every year you thought was going to be a good year?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're in it every day, you understand what you have, especially when you got more experience. First couple of years, you're just trying to survive.
Right.
But once you get some experience, you know what your personnel is, you know who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And you know how these games are going to go. And at the end of the day, so many of these games come down to 1 possession, 2 possessions, that it's really a coin toss.
Right.
At the start of the 4th quarter, how it's going to end up, right? Most of these games are like that. So a lot of it comes down to, do you have a football team that can win in those moments? We've had some really good moments with KOC here these last few years. We're winning those games more times than we're not. And that's really important. Now can we do that in the playoffs and so on and build a team that's going to get hot? But you always kind of had an idea of where you were at based off what you saw, especially when I became more experienced. Donovan McNabb year, for example, whatever year that was.
So you knew that was trouble.
Well, you just knew what
your first game was at the San Diego Chargers.
Yes, remember that?
Yeah. Percy Harvin houses the opening kickoff.
Yep.
Marty Fish, the tennis player, is behind us in the booth screaming. Abbott yelled at him, don't scream when they're talking.
Yeah.
And Iowa guy Nate Kading tore his ACL on the opening kick. He was done for the year.
Nate Kading was my host on my official visit for Iowa City.
Wow.
He is now he's not the mayor, but he is the mayor of Iowa City. But you just saw enough in that training camp to realize, like, he is not what he was, and we're about to pay for that.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how it played out. And that's no disrespect to him in any capacity. It was just that his career and the slide and the talent and his want to do it was not there.
The desire was
not
desire.
there. 100%.
Absolutely not. And
so,
he got benched in that game?
Collecting those checks, though.
No, I don't. Did he get benched?
I thought he got benched or replaced.
No, that was the Bear. That was at Soldier Field, where the last snap he took for the Minnesota Vikings was a Monday Night Football game at Soldier Field. Offense is backed up by the goal line.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Blitzes. And instead of trying to dive ahead or do something,
laid down.
He just laid down in the end zone and took a safety.
He laid down.
So then they go to halftime. In comes Christian Ponder, and that's it for Donovan McNabb.
That's a career for.
He looked like if Alec Lewis and I were in the backyard playing Kill the Carrier, and Alec somehow got the ball. And then here I come.
It's a disaster.
It is a disaster.
I'm going to knock you fat. I'm going to break your glasses.
Chad, look, Chad's done it. I'm here writing like I have any idea. Look, this is what I deserve. I saw you at training camp maybe 3 weeks ago. You had the whole family out there and looked like y'all were having a great time. Red carpet treatment. I mean, you were
in the red carpet. I did not see that red carpet.
I mean, it was like
you were practically on the field. One of your daughters ran a 9 on an unscouted route
and scored a touchdown. Defense got to tighten it up.
Yeah.
What was? I mean, you were out there that day. What vibe did you get from talking to Kevin? Just watching things. What was kind of your takeaway leaving that day in terms of what you felt and saw?
Are we being honest?
I know.
Yeah. Because it was not a great day of practice.
No,
it was coming off preseason game. It was the first day back after a couple days off. You felt that. I think I talked to Coach before and after, and
of course you did.
He expected. I gave him some tips. I gave him some reminders.
Yeah.
But the thing what I saw was I didn't like how long we were patting the ball in the pocket against our defense. Now, when you start to go against your defense for 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time, right? No, all of a sudden you start getting these looks that they know what you're going to do, they know what's coming, they know how to defend you, and that's why you have to go play other teams, right? Get an unscouted look and get a play against somebody you haven't played before. So I don't want to take my opinion of that day, because I left thinking like that was not a great day of practice. And you go through those days of training camp, especially in those doldrums of preseason games, you're in between weeks, you're trying to build and get better, you're kind of out of training camp mode, and the season's not here yet. It's that 3-week period where you're pretty miserable and you just want to play somebody else.
Anybody ever spit on you in a game?
I'm sure hundreds of times, to be honest. I don't know.
Really?
I mean, maybe not as publicly as it happened last night. I watched 0 snaps of that game last night, but I did see the spitting thing like 700 times on social media.
Right.
So when Dak spit, but that wasn't a directed spit. Right. That was an indirect spit.
Angled to the side spit.
But he must have thought it was a spit at him.
I guess.
Was it a rebuttal spit?
I think
that's what Jalen Carter said.
If you spit on me or at me, you're getting spit at.
Right.
It's just going to happen. Now, what if you spit at me and miss? But if I spit at you and hit you, are we still the same fault?
No. I mean, the big difference between being spit near and being spit upon. I mean, that's a whole different level.
It's such an egregious crossing the line, spitting on somebody. Like in our house with the kids, there's always chaos. If somebody spits, though, everybody snaps. Everybody but the spitter, the spatter, the sputter gets snapped on.
That's Chad Greenway, courtesy of Grey Duck Vodka and Grey Duck Spirits with Paul Charchian and Alec Lewis of The Athletic. I'm Paul Allen. This is the Friday Football Feast at Buffalo Wild Wings Oakdale, and we're back after this. with Grey Duck vodka and spirits this weekend?
Man, what we always have something going on. I mean, I just want it to still be summer so these seltzers can keep popping off. But
I want to get that hoodie. That is
you got to get to an exclusive club for this hoodie.
Yeah.
By week 2 you'll be in it.
Okay.
It's pretty quick.
I'm just saying, you bring me one of those hoodies, it's be
over.
worn in the Vikings locker room.
It's one of those things where we rebuilt our Bomba Seltzer pack. New packaging, new look, 2 new flavors, and now they're out in market. You can look at pretty much any major liquor store and find them. The Bomba Seltzer pack. They're very good. Blackberry, raspberry, go get it.
Our man sitting in the front row, Double R, just came up and chatted with us about J.J. McCarthy. And, everybody wants to formulate opinions on how things are going to go Monday, how things are going to go for the season. I think, and I think Charge put this in his Tolstoy, so I don't want to step on your touchdown call. But
let me check.
No matter you said in South Dakota, you don't learn to read. Right. So, no matter what happens with JJ Monday night, it's going to be dramatically over scrutinized. I mean, if he's out there 320, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, or 190, 1-2. The bottom line is the W and or the L in the team game matters most. But this kid's so polarizing. Everybody wants to be with him and talk about him and read about him. So it's going to be over scrutinized no matter which way it goes.
Yeah, I think when you look at it, the best game for J.J. McCarthy, in my opinion, is to hand it off about 35 times and get that dub and walk away.
Yep.
People always say, you lost your rookie year to a knee. Or J.J. had something similar, first-round pick. I'm like, oh, honey. He plays quarterback. He plays quarterback. And oh, by the way, I was drafted in 06, and we drafted a little guy named Adrian Peterson in 07. So in 07, I just flew right under that radar and was just smooth sailing. So it's incomparable to talk about this day and age of social media and just the talking point around quarterbacks in general. Their ability to protect him and not limp him, it's the wrong way, but just to protect him and his maturation and growth for these first month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks is going to be pivotal, because you can lose a guy in the first month if you don't take care of it.
And I think really for me, that is where I give Kevin O'Connell so much credit. Like in the press conference earlier this week, he is doing his very best to minimize just the feeling of the stakes of what this is Monday night. And now we all know on Monday night on the field, it will be impossible for JJ not to feel that and feel the emotion of it. But they've done everything they possibly can to put him in a position and to view it for the long haul. And I give them a lot of credit for that.
For JJ, who played in a lot of big moments, national championship games, at Michigan, and at every game at Michigan is a big game. But this is still a pretty big spot to make your NFL debut on national television. Monday Night Football is
thanks, Roger.
Yeah, right. No kidding. This is still a big spot for a young player.
And to PA's point, regardless of what happens on Monday morning on Get Up or whatever ESPN, it is going to be.
It'll be Tuesday.
He and Kevin O'Connell are either. This tandem could be the future, or if it goes bad, it's going to be, is JJ, what did we not see? And it's going to be crazy one way or another. And I think it's going to be important for all of us, especially me in the media writing about it, to realize that this is a long-term play, a guy who's still 22 years old, which doesn't mean he can't handle it. Yeah. To your point, Chad, it's just like quarterback position in the NFL. It is a challenge beyond compare.
Yeah, I hope he goes 12 for 17 for 125.
I'm with you.
And we have a couple pick sixes. Flores' defense goes nuts. And we run the ball
for 180 yards.
Mr. Mason goes for 125. He breaks off a 65-yarder down the right sideline, and there he goes.
I'd contend if JJ throws 33 passes in this game,
we lose.
We probably have lost the game. It would be my hunch. I'd like to see him come in at about 23 passes in this game.
Or he dices a defense without Jalen Johnson and TJ Edwards. And then
he's one of us now.
He's fitting in nice.
Homer, let's go.
I know you didn't hear. Just give a round of applause, okay? He's fitting in. Wait till the con gets here.
Oh, baby.
Coon Rapids next week. It's going to be a purple and gold covenant. What do we think of Caleb Williams, quarterback for the Bears? And I'll lay it out like this. Sacked 68 times last year, third most in the history of the NFL. David Carr was sacked 78 times for the Texans. That's number one. But with Caleb, his yards per attempt was 6.3. Now, that ranked 33rd in the NFL, which means there was some L backup who threw 100 passes or more and had a better yards per attempt than Caleb. And his long completion is 47 yards, which that ain't great. I thought it would be longer. What do we think of Caleb?
Well, I think the interesting part about breaking down those 68 sacks would be how many of those were off-scripted plays where he was trying to do something else.
Yep.
And again, and you see also why they make a coaching change, because at the end of the day, how do you protect a young quarterback? We just talked about it. Put him in a spot to have some success. And even if you have a guy to throw it down, you put him in a spot where he's got this read or that read, or you run the ball. It's very simple. There's three options.
Yep.
And and that's where, to Alex's point, is where you trust our guy at head coaching position, is how do you handle that? We saw it last year with Darnold. He put him consistently in spots to have success on what Sam did well. So let's do and allow our quarterback to do what he does well. And I think one thing we're going to see more from our guy, and getting off the Caleb Williams bit, is I think we're going to see him use his feet a little bit more. Now, is it going to be done at the right time and the timing of all that, which is going to be good. But from a Caleb standpoint, you look at a guy throw the ball, natural thrower, gifted athlete, scary talent. And that's where the biggest acquisition being the head coach at Chicago scares you, because if he gets this guy rolling downhill, it could be a real problem.
So Ben Johnson needs Caleb Williams to stay on script and not try to do all the improvisation that got him in trouble last year. I think the way you do that in week one for Caleb Williams is you ask him to make basically two reads.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask him what color his nails were going to be this week.
Well, maybe that too. Maybe that too. You make two reads. And if the play's not there, get rid of the ball.
Yeah. What if you don't have time to make two reads because Jonathan Bernard is in
you're
your
liking
face?
our front four, are you? Let's go.
I'll just say, that is two questions that I have for Caleb in this game. I'm with you, Charts. It's a great point. If he, gets the ball out quick, I think he can be very effective.
Yep.
But my question is, does the pass rush allow him to get the ball out quick? And if he does have to read multiple times, can he be accurate down the field the way that Jared Goff was in Detroit? Like, one of Jared Goff's calling cards was the decisiveness at which he threw a lot of those deep developing end breakers, and the accuracy with which he threw them. And they had time to throw those passes because of Detroit's offensive line.
Right.
That's what makes, for as good as Ben Johnson is, does the personnel that he now has allow him to do things schematically, the same things that he did effectively in Detroit? I don't know. We're going to find out.
Yeah, well, I think one thing you think about is why was Goff able to do that? Play action pass, because they're able to run the football.
Yeah.
So when you're able to run the football and one thing can watch the other, then all of a sudden you have to believe it defensively, and that's going to change what Flores does from a defensive play calling standpoint. If you don't have that same ability, now Flores can get a little bit more confusing for the young quarterback, can get a little bit more interesting, some new looks. The one talker, right, is the help of our football team in the back end from some important players that could impact some of the stuff we can do with Flores' defense. So that's another thing to look at.
So when the Vikings faced Ben Johnson twice last year, obviously with Detroit, he ran through this team. Jahmyr Gibbs, Vikings only gave up 11 rushing touchdowns all year last year. Jahmyr Gibbs scored 6 times against Minnesota in 2 games.
That guy.
But he doesn't have Jahmyr Gibbs and that offensive line. And you wonder if Ben Johnson is going to try to employ the run-first offense that he destroyed the Vikings in these 2 games, or is he going to go and look at DeAndre Swift and go, you're not Jahmyr Gibbs?
The other thing with Jahmyr Gibbs in those runs last year, you rewatch the film, and it's Cam Bynum missing probably 3 tackles on those touchdown runs. And I thought Cam was a really effective, solid player for multiple seasons, but it just raises the question, to your point, Chad, of what does the health look like on the back end? Is Theo Jackson ready to step into that every down role? If Harrison Smith, we'll see about his availability. If he's not there, what do things look like? It's an interesting question with the defensive approach.
Tackling, it goes back to your point. Can we tackle and get guys on the ground when you got a 1st and 10? You can send them back 2 yards to get them on a 2nd and 12, or we miss that tackle and all of a sudden it's 2nd and 3.
Right.
You're the very best. We look forward to seeing you next week at Buffalo Wild Wings Coon Rapids.
Rapids. Let's go.
Good seeing you, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Chad Greenway, ladies and gentlemen, 5-2 Radio. We have a surprise for Paul Charchi, and it's going to take place around the corner from Buffalo Wild Wings Oakdale. You're listening to the Friday Football Feast on KFAN.